guys, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to show y'all all of my finals projects, my classes I had this quarter, which were 3D design, typography, and business 2, and I will have a final project in all of those. And I want to take you along for the process, and then you'll see the final product, and then hopefully my grades at the end. But by the time this video is posted, it'll probably be the end of the quarter, so I'm probably going to have those grades posted. And then once I have my final product, I will post them to my creative website and my creative Instagram, so go follow those too. Now let's just get into the process. Basically for my 3D design project, I'm starting with this mock-up, which is for our smaller project. If you've ever heard the biblical phrase, break your flesh, this is what this is going to be based on. And it's going to be the golden rays, the little cracks of gold are the Holy Spirit. And then I'm going to put yarn, white yarn, around the edges of them just to look like it's the Holy Spirit coming out of the flesh. For the final project, I need to figure out a way to make it into an actual mask, which is going to be the really hard part. I don't know if I'm going to make it from an actual plastic mask, or my professor had the idea of 3D molding my face, which she said was easy, but I'm not buying that. I finished this.
I went to Starlandia to get supplies for my 3D design project, and I needed a mask, and they didn't have anything at the dollar store other than this guy, which I find really funny, but I'm just gonna cut it so it's more human shape and not literal circle. I did get more yarn. I got a vibrant gold yarn, sequins, some wire, gold wire, white beads, chain, gold and yellow fluff. It's the embroidery fluff that you stick with a pin. And I got a ton of random felt, which I think would look really good layered and sewn into it. And I think we're just gonna start our mask project. We are back working on our mask, and this is where we've gotten to so far. It looks kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, I did do all of this work in class, so I did not record it. But basically what I did was I just cut the mask so it's more actual face shaped, and then I hot glued a layer of my fabric onto the whole thing, and then I cut out the eye holes. And then I started in chunks weaving the yarn all around the little sections. And so this was pretty much half. I'm gonna do the other half right now. And then I think my plan for this is to actually cut it in two. So if you see this big long line that goes all the way around here, I kind of want to cut the mask in half and make it two separate parts that are attached, just to make it look cooler, honestly. But does it look good? Don't answer that. I got the other half done, so I think I'm gonna try to cut it in half now, which is kind of scary because I don't want to mess it up, but I think it's gonna be fine. If all else fails, I can just reconnect it from the back. Let's see if I can cut it in half. My camera is about to die, but I did finish half of the gold on one side. I still have the other half to do, and I have a nail appointment at 5. So at least I got some work done, and maybe come back to this. We're gonna find out. We're gonna continue working on the mask. I need to finish up the little bit of yellow, I think, on here. And then I'm gonna do the yellow on this side. I think I'm gonna try putting felt on after we get done with the yellow, and then just try to start layering stuff. Okay, I've been working, I think, for about an hour and a half. I don't really like how it's looking right now, but I feel like I just need to trust the process in that it's gonna come together when I add other stuff in it. So I think I've worked for about an hour and a half. I think it's really cool. I'm starting to really enjoy it. I think it's just a fun thing to do, honestly. I finished my mask today. Here is the final product. I added some chain and I added some wire to the back of it to hold it together and kind of have a like stitched look to it, but here it is. I will put some pictures right here on the screen for y'all to see of the photos that we did and what I turned in for my final project. For my typography project, I started out on Pinterest making a bunch of boards to help know the color palette and the style that I wanted to go with, along with the fonts that I wanted to use. I wanted to focus on an Art Deco style, more of a 1920s and 30s look, to have simple shapes and have the fonts really tell the story. But talking about my typography class, it took a while to start actually getting it put together because we have what's called a process book. And a process book is basically where you show your entire progress throughout the project, and you show what fonts that you got and how you got your fonts and how it is put together in your calendar. We turned in our progress each class to show our professor so he can tell us what to take out and what to add and just all the tweaks that he wanted us to do. And then finally editing over and over again to get what I wanted before class started. And I went to a coffee shop for a while so I can have a different atmosphere when working on my designs. During these sessions, I mostly focused on the text and how it fits into the calendar itself because that is what he's focusing on the most. The other main thing was to have the numbers of each day adjusted accordingly so that it looked even between the spacing, and that was really hard because I had to put grids in to make sure it was equal because he would take points off for that. I worked a lot in coffee shops so I can have a different atmosphere and a different setting for when I do my work so I don't get burned out.
Wait, what's going on? Guys, what's going on? Guys, what's going on?
It's a camera, babes.
Why is it so small? Oh! The sickness has taken over.
You're welcome for content.
Thank you. Today is November 7th, 2025. I think I am going to die from the sickness.
Got the cameras,
I worked a little more in this coffee shop, and this was the session where I completely finished my work. This is me finishing up my entire process book so I could turn it in, and then my final project was also turned in today. And I also got this done a day before it was due, which was wonderful, so I didn't have to stress about it.
I just got out of my last typography class of the quarter because I will not be going back on Wednesday because we don't need to, but I will show photos of my final calendar, and I'm really proud of it. It wasn't really chosen by the class how we do our little democracy voting thing, but I think I did really good. I'm very proud of it. I'm going to post all of my progress and my finals on my website and my LinkedIn and hopefully on my Instagram that I'm going to create eventually. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. But stay posted for my grade because I don't know what grade I'm going to get, but hopefully I do well.
My final project was my business project, and what I decided to do for this project was create a video of my opportunity costs that I made throughout my finals week, which was really good for me because as I was recording for YouTube, I could also record for this video, so it wasn't hard for me to do. The assignment was to take an economic theory and make a presentation about it, and so I asked him if I could do a creative presentation of a video. That's when I started putting my footage together and I started adding animated text to make it a little more interesting so it's not just me talking over and over again. And if you know anything about Premiere Pro or Adobe After Effects, you know that it is difficult to work with, so I ended up doing this all on CapCut. And then finally, I had about a 10-minute video explaining all of my opportunity costs, and some of those were editing YouTube videos over my finals work, and some of them was going out on Halloween instead of doing my work. I just finished filming my last videos for my business project, and I'm so happy to finally be done with it. I just need to edit it and put it all together and then turn it in. So I had a lot of footage on all the opportunity costs that I went through for my finals week, and then I also had to do an executive summary, which is basically a small essay detailing what your project is about, and I think I got that done in about 2 days. I also don't know what to do with myself because I'm completely done with everything. I also completely finished my business project that's due tomorrow. Other than the presentation that I have in business tomorrow, I am completely done. I've turned everything in and I've done all of my final work stuff that I have to do for each class. So at this point, I just need to pack to go home, which I will record. It'll probably be in a different video though. And then other than that, just stay posted for my grades. I'm officially done with all of my work. I have turned everything in. The only thing I need to do is go to class tomorrow for 3D design and just make sure I have everything turned in, because we have to turn in stuff for final project and we have to turn in final submissions for SCAD. Other than that, all I'm waiting on is my final grades for all my projects. I really don't know when they're going to turn those in because it is the end of the quarter and sometimes it takes a little while, but hopefully we'll get those soon. I just checked my grades for 3D design and I got 100 on my mask design for my final project. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Alright, I am back in my room and I have my final grades. For my typography project, I made a 92, which is great, honestly, because a lot of people just didn't get an A on that. So my final grade in that class was a 94.4, which was really good. And then in my business class, I made a 96 on my final business presentation, which was amazing. And I also got an email from my professor that I had in business, and he emailed me saying that as he was wrapping up his final grades for the quarter, I got the highest grade in the class for the entire quarter. And that just felt really good, and I love the fact that he took the time to tell me that. It just made me feel amazing because I did work really hard in that class, and that was just a really sweet thing to do. So my final grades for my classes were 100 in 3D design, and I got a 94 in both business and typography, and I made the dean's list again this year because I made all A's. Thank you so much for joining me on my finals week and watching my progress through all of my final projects. They were really fun to do and very time consuming, but I'm super proud of them all. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.